What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Radio Mania, episode number 65, your 4th annual Booty Call episode.
4th annual, wow.
4th annual. I think this is the 4th one that we've done like this.
Yeah, but is it yearly?
4th biannually Booty Call podcast.
That's every other year, right? So twice annually?
Twice annually Booty Call episode.
I like it.
My name is Zach, at Zach Rotello on Twitter, on most of the social media things, sitting across from me, laying down horizontally across from me in the hotel bed.
I am not sitting.
I thought you were about to say, I am not well.
That too.
Is John Swansong Parker.
That's me. How you guys doing? Good to be back in a random hotel room in Columbus.
Yeah, it's
shenanigans.
Shout out to the Days Inn here, the Wyndham Rewards 5-star hotel here.
Right off 71, baby.
Oh yeah,
prime location.
Yeah, if you can't hear the cars just whipping by, maybe you'll hear people outside talking.
A stone's throw away from Manfree Stadium.
Yeah.
Soon to be where the Columbus Crew will be relocating.
soon to be a crater.
Soon to be just part of the fairgrounds, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, if you've never listened to an episode of the show before, it's very simple. It's a talk show for all things pop culture. You know, movies, film, television. Two of those are the same. we
Movies, film, cinema.
We did some heavy drinking last night, and we had to wake up to make sure we got this show recorded before we get kicked out of our hotel at 11. So
we should get a late checkout.
Coming to you live in the early AM.
Yeah.
High energy. Can we get a review of this coffee though?
-1 out of 5 stars.
I'm gonna go solid 2. It's got the consistency of coffee, so they succeeded in that. But in every other facet, they failed miserably.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the review.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about today, but I think first off, we should give a special shout out to our sponsor, Gateway Films, official sponsor of Radio Mania.
The Torpedo Room.
Yeah, the Torpedo Room.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, last night we. I think you should be the one to kick this off.
I don't know. I really want to see how you kick it off.
It's not gonna be. We had a magical experience.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
So we went to the Torpedo Room as we usually do.
Yeah,
and if you go back into the repertoire of our podcast, you'll see an episode called "We Got Hammered and Saw Thor Ragnarok," in which we talk about going to the Torpedo Room at Gateway Film Center, seeing a movie, and having lots of drinks at the bar there, and meeting Lucas the bartender. So you guys should know Lucas the bartender. He's like our, what do you call those? MacGuffins, if you will.
He's our MacGuffin.
He's the MacGuffin of the show. You good?
One sec. All right, so luckily we caught that shit early. But yeah, so in true Booty Call fashion, the sound of the air conditioner. Can you turn that off, please? Yeah. If you can't tell, our production values here at Radiovania Incorporated are just the bee's knees. Thank you, John.
Gotcha, bro.
Excellent.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, so our microphone wasn't connected to the right input for a second there, so the beginning part of the show is just going to be the worst audio you've ever heard in your entire life. But hey, you know what? It's the Booty Call.
It's the Booty Call.
Yeah, so we were just getting started on talking about the famous story of last night.
Okay, yes. So, our MacGuffin, Lucas the bartender. Every time we've gone back since to see, the Avengers, or we came last time, we went and saw Venom, but we went to the Torpedo Room first. Every time we ask, they're like, he works here, he's just not here. So we were wondering,
we struck out.
Is this guy a figment of our imagination? Was that like not even something that actually happened? Maybe he doesn't actually work there. Until last night, we went to the Torpedo Room around 8 o'clock?
Ish, yeah.
8:30. We walk in. It's pretty empty outside. It's like 20 degrees, so just campus is just like, it's just empty out. And we walk into the bar. It's pretty low-key night in the Torpedo Room, just the way we like it.
Mm-hmm.
We set down our stuff. I go to the can. Come back out. See a silhouette of a figure that I've seen only once before.
And you spotted that shit. I would have never known it was the same guy.
That's why I'm a detective, dude. Straight up.
Okay.
I Call me Sherlock Holmes, baby. So I walk in. I sit next to Zach, but I'm like staring at this guy like from the side. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, that's him. Like, I'm sure. And I tell Zach, I'm like, that's him. And you're like, who, Lucas? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no. And I was like, hey, are you Lucas? And then, boom. That's when it started to unfold.
Yeah. So we got the opportunity to hang out with him. We got the opportunity to meet some of his friends. Yeah, we went out. We got beers. We closed down the shop. We
got to meet Allie.
Yes, we got to meet Allie. We got to walk across the street to what is now not World of Beer.
Mm-hmm.
And
District Poorhouse.
District Poorhouse.
Shout out.
But yeah, so in short, it was.
It's like finding a unicorn.
It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was destined to happen one of these days, right?
One of these days.
But it just kind of lined up perfectly. I mean, he was just happened to be there. He was there visiting a friend at work. And then we just wound up closing the bar. I mean, people left for a little bit and then came back so that we could all hang out at the end. It was just...
Yeah.
It was one of those times, you know, and it's something I think that we're going to remember for a very long time.
For sure.
We have never closed down the torpedo room, but now we can check that off the list.
It's on the bucket list.
It's on the list. I got to go behind the bar before we left.
I don't remember that.
You had already, I think, walked out.
Ah.
Yeah, so I went behind the bar. It looks cool.
Cool.
To be on the other side. But yeah, it's just, we got, like, each porthole turns off individually, right?
Yeah, we found that. Oh, that's cool.
And Lucas said something. He's like, they're not actually fish tanks. And we're like, damn.
But outside of the regular torpedo room tradition, we didn't see a film last night.
No, we made our own.
Yeah, we pondered seeing the Lego Movie 2, but to be honest, neither of us were super motivated. I think
not last night, and especially not after we got there and we wanted to get reacquainted.
Sure.
With Lucas.
Oh,
The
yeah.
bartender. So yeah, that happened.
That did happen.
And that'll be referenced. It's going to be part of the lexicon of the show for sure.
Yeah.
So shout out to Lucas and Allie. We got two MacGuffinses.
Two MacGuffey.
MacGuffey. Yeah. All right, take us away.
Yeah, let's jump into the news and get this episode rolling. Oscars season.
Oscar
Isaac season.
Mm-hmm.
It's Poe Dameron season. No, the Oscars were announced. John, did you take a look at the Oscar list?
I did.
Okay.
I've actually seen some of the films this year.
Well, let's go through, because I'm curious to know to what end you've seen the film. So we'll jump right into Best Picture.
Oh, wow. You just sent it in.
Yeah, we're not going to go through every category.
Full send.
Full send into Best Picture.
Okay. So are we doing like the top 5-ish categories?
Yeah, we'll do like the top ones, the main ones, the big ones that get the screen time.
No disrespect.
Yeah.
To makeup and all that stuff.
No. Well, actually, that's a huge deal this year, is that since the Oscars don't have a host, they're trying to trim down on the fat. They announced that they're going to be doing the less popular awards during commercial breaks, which has a lot of people real upset.
Wow.
I think personally that's kind of
that's awful.
That's disrespectful to a lot of people that work on. I mean, like, this is their moment to get some recognition in the pop culture. Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer. But anyway, Best Picture. Go from the bottom up, because I think the top is the most interesting. Vice nominated. Star is Born, Green Book, Roma, The Favorite, Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Klansman, and Black Panther.
8
are the best pictures for
out of 10 possible slots. Why don't they just throw out the other 2
to make it an even 10?
That, and to just like give some recognition.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, to those films that are maybe a little more popular or something like that. Like, how dope would it have been if they just were like, you know what?
Spider-Verse.
Aquaman. Here's
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have to do with the amount of people on the board.
You might as well, right? It can't be that those movies last year were that bad that you couldn't say that there are 10 really good movies that should win a Best Picture. Like A Quiet Place was the one that I was upset got left out of that.
Did get snubbed.
Got snubbed by like everything, I'm pretty sure. Except maybe like sound editing. I don't even remember.
No, I think it did get awards for sound editing. I think.
Great.
It got nominated.
Just throw it a bone, dude. Just throw it a bone.
So
Doggy needs a bone.
I want to know your Best Picture, what you want to win, what you think will win.
I want Green Book to win.
Okay.
I think that Roma will win. because the Academy hates me. I have never once picked the correct best picture.
I don't think I have either.
Because sometimes my personal feelings get in the way, and I pick the one that I want to win really bad. So, like, La La Land was as close. Literally, they were on the goddamn stage. That's the closest.
The worst moment of my life.
That's the closest that I've ever gotten to actually correctly picking the best picture.
Like PTSD over that, man.
Yeah, sorry. I just saw you get a little flustered.
It's okay. What I want to win, and this is like a selfish pick, is I think it would be very cool and a big statement if Black Panther won.
I think Black Klansman would win over those.
I think so.
Two. Yeah, just for Spike.
I agree.
But yeah, that would be really cool.
Have you seen Klansman?
No, I really wanted to.
It's on my list.
Yeah, it is. I've heard that John David Washington is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. But I think it would be cool if Black Panther if that was like the first official recognition that the Marvel films are more than just like crowd-pleasing blockbusters, that they actually have some artistic merit.
I think even just the nomination alone is that important.
It is huge.
You know what
it
I mean?
Is huge.
Because I mean, like, the last time that there was a movie that they really could have done this for is the reason why they expanded the category to 10, because The Dark Knight didn't get a nod.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, you mean the movie everyone saw like 3 times in 2008?
It made $1 billion domestically.
Yeah, what even won that year?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yep.
Also, special shout out to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Which is not going to win.
No, not at all.
Because of Bryan Singer.
Yes, because Bryan Singer
who doesn't
sucks.
get a shout out.
Exactly, yes. His name is not listed on any of the credits here on the awards thing. What I do want to say is that a couple nights ago, I watched Roma.
On Netflix.
I watched Netflix.
Did you fall asleep?
No. Was riveted.
You were riveted.
Riveted the whole way through. It is an emotionally draining film. I was chuckling at some parts. I was marveling at the way that it was shot, and there was one part that was so emotionally moving that I literally had to pause it because I had tears in my eyes and couldn't see the computer screen which I was watching it on. It's a beautifully made film. That's gonna win. What I want to win is Black Panther, but what I think is going to sweep is Roma, and rightfully so. It's a piece of fucking art. It was great. I highly encourage you to check it out, and I encourage viewers to check it out. It's slow. It took the first 20 minutes. I was like, oh no.
How long is it?
It's 2.5 hours. It's like 2 hours 40 minutes or something like that.
It's a big movie.
The first 10 minutes is silence with credits. So trim a little bit of the fat on the beginning. There's a little bit of fat on the end with some credits. But it felt like it flew by, man. Okay. Especially that second half. It's at the mid. There's a point in the middle of the movie where it takes off and it becomes a different, more exciting drama. And I was like completely emotionally invested in all these characters. So highly recommend you check it out. But that's gonna sweep for sure.
Nice.
Best director Alfonso Cuarón, who did Roma. Yorgos Lanthimos, who did The Favorite, which I have no interest in watching. Spike Lee.
Really? Not even with your girl in it?
Is that Emma Stone?
Yeah.
Not really. It just seems...
Heard her.
It's... I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
We'll see. Black Klansman's Spike Lee, obviously Adam McKay for Vice, and then Powell Pawlikowski for Cold War.
Yeah. No ladies again.
No ladies, which is... I guess typical at this point. Haven't gotten...
Still a shame.
It's a shame. Yeah, we haven't...
Still a shame.
I don't know. The Academy, man. You got some pros and cons on all ends with the...
All right, so who do you think's going to win, and who do you think should win?
I think Best Picture is going to be Roma, so they're not going to... I don't know if they're going to throw Best Director to Cuarón for Roma as well, like give it a double like whammy.
A double tap?
I think Spike Lee might get it.
I hope he does. I really do.
I think this is the year that he gets it. I also haven't seen
deservedly
the film,
so, but it's just yeah, probably that. Bradley Cooper's not on there, is he?
Bradley Cooper is not on there.
Neither is Green Books.
No.
So I could see a world that it's Alfonso Cuarón though as well. I honestly could. on the off chance that Roma doesn't win the Best Picture, I think they could just give him the directing one because it's more of an achievement for his film, right? It's like a passion project.
Sure, yeah.
Nothing against the film, but
no, it definitely screams of passion. But it is, it's a beautifully directed movie.
I'm sure we'll get to this next, but I'm sure that woman's going to win actress as well.
So Best Actress, Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga, A Star Is Born, Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me? I've only seen one of these films, and that's Roma. She is great.
But I've listened to Lady Gaga on Spotify before.
Aparicio, I guess. Aparicio is how you pronounce that last name, I think. She gives a really subdued performance. It's not like... She has one moment where she, like, it's her Oscar moment. Like, they're going to show it on the screen when they say her name. When it's like, she has one real big moment where she, like, lets all of the emotion out, and it's very powerful. But for most of the movie, she kind of has the same expression on her face. So I honestly don't know if I think that her performance is more of a surrogate for you to experience, like, what life is like for these kinds of people in this specific time. So I don't know if this is necessarily her... This is, like, the performance. This is the Best Actress performance.
So then I'm going to pick Olivia Colman.
Okay. For The Favorite?
Yep.
Okay.
Lock it in.
All right. Best Actor. Christian Bale, Vice. Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born. Willem Dafoe at Eternity's Gate, which I haven't seen yet.
Bradley Cooper, Infinity War.
Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and then Viggo Mortensen for Green Book.
So this is actually a pretty tough category to pick.
Figured it would be for you.
I honestly think that Rami Malek could win.
I think he's going to win. Because they can't give the film any awards, but they can give him an award.
And I also think he should win, right? For that exact reason that you just said. So that's what I'm going to say. But that's a pretty loaded category in terms of big performances that were also recognized at the Golden Globes and stuff, too.
Yeah.
But
still haven't seen Vice.
Or Green Book.
Yeah. Or A Star Is Born.
Yeah, I missed out on A Star Is Born. I'll watch it on Amazon or something.
Sure. Best Supporting Actress, you got Amy Adams for Vice, Marina da Tavira for Roma. Oh, wow, I didn't know she was actually nominated for that. That's interesting. Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, Emma Stone, The Favorite, and Rachel Weisz, The Favorite. No strong... I've only seen Roma, so...
I'm going to go with Regina King.
Okay. I'll say... It's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to pick one.
Emma Stone. Because I like Emma Stone.
Oh, shocker.
Best Supporting Actor, Mahershala Ali for Green Book,
yeah,
Adam Driver for BlacKkKlansman, Sam Elliott, A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant, Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice.
Also a good category, but Mahershala Ali's got that unlocked. They love that guy.
They do. I also heard that Adam Driver gave a fantastic performance in BlacKkKlansman.
Yeah, but he also killed Han Solo, so he's not going to win the Oscar. Get out of town. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Force Awakens. That's what happened.
Trying to think if there's any other interesting ones to like look through. Best Original Song, All the Stars for Black Panther, I'll Fight in RBG, The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins, Shallow, A Star Is Born, When a Cowboy Trades His Words, Spurs for Wings in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I think Shallow will win, and that is unfortunately for that movie and the people that love it, I think that is the only thing that it'll walk away with. Hit me up with the animated features.
Yeah, Best Animated Feature, Incredibles 2.
Nope.
Isle of Dogs.
I know you like it, but nope.
No, it's not going to win, I don't think. Yeah. Mirai,
nope.
Which I've never heard of. Ralph Breaks the Internet, nope. And Spider-Verse.
Okay.
What I want to win, Spider-Verse.
Should that be nominated just for Best Picture?
I think it should be. I think Spider-Verse should be a Best.
I think you should
be
Beauty and the Beast that ish in '91 when they actually nominated just for Best Picture.
Yeah, I think it's
because it's the best movie.
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Like the past decade.
Yeah, it's a movie for everyone. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's well directed and well acted all around. It is much more of an emotional draw for me than most of the movies I go to see. So
I think it will be the most talked about, referenced movie of 2018 in the long run. Not currently. I still think that's Infinity War just because the snap is part of the lexicon at this point. But after the dust settles and the second part, if you even want to call it that, comes out, I think Spider-Verse is just going to continue on and on and on, and that's going to be a generational thing.
And I don't know how up on box office numbers you are, but it's well made over its production budget at this point.
Good. I know we were kind of concerned.
I was definitely concerned. It had a very good foreign showing. Usually I'm not happy about that, but if that means that this movie gets a sequel, I'm all for it. I want there to be like
Spider-Verse 2,
two more. Boogaloo. Yeah, I want it to be a trilogy.
That'd be great. I want the trilogy to end with Miles being the mentor.
If I'm going to be pessimistic, though, I think The Incredibles 2 might win. Just because they love Brad Bird and they love Pixar, and Pixar movies win all the time.
It's not going to win.
I don't know, man. Dude. I feel like I don't want to get my hopes up because I feel like the Academy could just rip the rug out from under.
I will light something on fire if Spider-Verse doesn't win.
We will see. And then Infinity War got, I think, 1 or 2 nominations, but in Best Visual Effects, which I thought was interesting.
Makes sense.
Infinity War gets it. First Man, one of its only nominations.
Oh, yeah, that movie came out.
Is in, which I think... I mean, people hate on that movie, but I think that movie. I mean, like, why wasn't that nominated for best? It doesn't make any sense. It's like maybe they're
it's
done
like
with
eating a whole bag of pretzels. It's just so dry. You're just like without anything to drink.
I didn't understand. Thinking it was the dry.
The only revitalization that you get is at the very end of the film, and they don't even spend enough time on the moon.
I think it was a perfect climax. You spent exactly the amount of time that you needed to get the message across that the movie is not about like space exploration. It's about this
That's
man
and
his dog. No, I think First Man is a case of marketing. Making people think the movie was going to be different than what it is. Marketing for that movie made it seem like it was this high intensity space thriller, when in actuality it's like almost a documentary.
It's a biopic.
Yeah. I loved it personally. I think that Gosling played a great Neil Armstrong, a very subdued and emotional performance, and I was surprised he didn't get any nominations for acting.
My favorite Neil Armstrong portrayal is Robert Downey Jr. playing Kirk Lazarus, playing Neil Armstrong in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Which, again, no Tug Speedman this year, so I guess his career's over.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man, while we're still on that tangent-ish with awards, Into the Spider-Verse won the Best Animated Feature at the Golden Globes. So that was its first major win for...
All 3 of my favorite films last year won at the Golden Globes. So I'm officially a Globes fan. You can go.
And then Spider-Verse also swept the Annie Awards with 7 wins.
Do you know John Larson went to the DGA Awards?
I heard.
Isn't that cool?
About that, yeah.
He's like, I saw Christian Bale and I almost cried. I was like, that's awesome.
That's what you get when you decide to date a member of high society. Maybe they can get us an interview with Tobey Maguire or something.
You think Tobey Maguire's in the DGA? Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
All right. Trailer time. Let's start with the shortest one. The 30-second Super Bowl spot for Endgame. Thoughts, opinions?
It was really cool. My favorite part is Nebula and Tony building some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All I want in that movie is it to go and you just kick in that theme from the first time.
Yeah.
And I would be so pumped.
Yeah. That would be pretty hot.
But also if they just put on music from the Milano and they actually used the song during that time and played some AC/DC, that would also be really funny.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I'm assuming that's what they're building, because they're going to try and rebuild the ship, and then that's how he gets lost in space to leave
Iron Man in space
to leave a helmet Skype message for Pepper.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I think it's great. I think it's if this is the tone of the film, it'll be perfect for me. I'm not sure if it's going to play with everybody though. It seems dour.
Yeah.
Dour and depressing, which I'm all for. Give me it. It's like It's the exact opposite of DC.
This is coming from the guy that said he wanted Deadpool in the movie, though.
Yeah, I know, but he can work in
a dour film.
I think that he could work in a moment. He's not going to be in the whole movie, but I was saying specifically like characters that they could bring over for little cameos that would make the universe tied together. Because I really do think there's going to be a Fox character.
All I'm saying is they could really use Charles Xavier's help. Like he would like help leaps and bounds. But James McAvoy's busy.
I mean, if Fassbender showed up, that would be a chills moment for me.
Speaking of which, I don't know if this is a storyline, but that's getting test screenings. Have you heard about this?
Dark Phoenix.
It's awful, is what they say.
Yeah, well, I've heard that the test screenings are pretty bad. Most people have the problem with like the editing. I think it's just being rushed out. I think, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if it's just going to come out. We'll see what happens. Could be an interesting story for sure.
One more thing about the Endgame before we move on.
Yeah.
The person shooting a gun, like target practice, that's Black Widow.
Yeah,
right?
It's Black Widow.
Okay.
She has her hair back.
It's not red, though.
Well, in promotional photos, there's like some leaked toy box art. She has red hair for Endgame at some point. Nice. I don't know how that's going to happen, but...
Nice. I think...
It's like Steve Rogers shaves the beard and then she just like... dyes
so
it
I
away.
always thought that she just dyed her hair blonde in Infinity War, and Steve grew out the beard just because they're undercover. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's not like you won't recognize those people when you see them fighting.
Well, it's like how they just
and they have their friend.
The ball cap.
Yeah, and then their friend has some wings.
Yeah.
I actually heard the ball cap thing works. We should try it sometime.
Yeah, let's try and blend in.
Yeah.
Far From Home.
Oh yeah.
Also dropped while we were on our
hiatus
from the last episode.
Mysterio.
Yeah, how about that Jake Gyllenhaal though? I'm worried though. I'm worried he's not going to get the fully fleshed out treatment that Keaton received.
I think he will.
I hope he will.
I think he's going to be like the Mandarin. So I think not in the same way at all. But my thought is Mysterio in the comics is an actor.
Yeah.
My thinking is that he has rigged all of these villains to appear in Europe, and he's beating them himself. It's like Syndrome.
Yeah, that's most of the internet seems to think that he's a syndrome-ish character.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally fine with if someone else is pulling the strings.
Ultron?
Ultron, oh my god.
You're puppets without string.
No.
I got no string.
I don't know who would be an interesting, maybe it's an Osborn thing. Maybe this is how we get Osborn set up. Like he's pulling the strings or he's pulling Jake Gyllenhaal's strings and making
I don't know
him
if they
puppet
even
dance.
want to. I don't think they want to touch the Goblin with like a 10-foot pole. I think they want to do the Sinister Six really badly. That's why they're setting up the Vulture, the Scorpion, Mysterio, and then they'll just have to do 3 more, and then Doc Ock. You know what I mean?
We'll see. And we don't have to dive too much into this, but also, is this are you in the post Endgame ideology, or do you think this takes place before Infinity War? I sure as shit hope that it takes place before Infinity War.
I think it's post Endgame though.
I think that's so lame. If that's true, that's so lame. Yeah. That's going to make immediately diminish the quality of the film for me.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun to pretend that Spider-Man was dead, but man, if that would be that's going to be a huge bummer. Moving on, Aquaman, your favorite hero.
It's made a big splash.
It's quite the splash.
$1 billion.
Yeah,
the number 1 grossing DC film
of all time.
Outgrossed The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yep, which is just so sad. But the times them are changing. I mean, the dollar's up, so it's going to happen eventually, right? Movie tickets cost $15 now. I saw The Dark Knight when it was $5.
Yeah, so
it's just part of the thing.
Foreign marketplace. Aquaman reigns supreme among DC heroes with a current $713 million gross.
That's disgusting.
Batman v Superman grossed $543 million domestic or foreign.
People love that movie in other countries.
I mean, honestly, Aquaman beating a Batman versus Superman movie. I would have never predicted that. I thought this movie was going to do some bad numbers.
People wanted to see Black Manta, and they got him.
In the most forced, cliche.
Let me have this one. Come on, please.
They were like trying to do the Tony Stark thing.
Yeah, it's a broke-ass Tony Stark. It worked. He's a fish Tony Stark.
Speaking...
He likes the water.
I was trying to think of
He let his dad die, okay? What's he supposed to do? Nothing?
His dad had a grenade to blow up the ship that they needed later to, like, fake the attack on the city. So why'd he blow it up? Why didn't he just shoot himself in the head? What the fuck? The movie's broke. In the still Aquaman in the universe, I don't know if you've heard about this, because this story broke last night.
So no.
Aquaman spin-off The Trench in the works.
That has to be fake news. That can't be real.
Nope. This comes from Hollywood Reporter. It says, with Aquaman being a billion-dollar hit, it's no surprise Warner Brothers wants more waterworks from its DC Comics hero. Any discussions of a direct sequel have not engaged on any sort of serious level by the studio, director James Wan or star Momoa. With all the players seemingly intent on taking a breather and their time, there is talk of a spin-off. Warner's has hired newbie scribes Noah Gardner and Aidan Fitzgerald to pen a horror-tinged script centered on the Trench, the deadly amphibious creature seen attacking the hero and his love Mera and Aquaman. The Trench creatures, blah, 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 blah. Juan and Peter Safran will produce a project titled The Trench, which would be more modestly budgeted than the normal DC superhero tentpole.
So I have a couple comments. I don't think this is a good idea.
No, bad
but
idea.
This could be a good idea as, like, a low-budget TV show for their app. But this, like, because, you know, they're doing all those shows on there. But as, like, a spin-off film, I don't see this actually coming out. This is going to get cyborg.
But I agree with you with the low budget thing, like with the TV
series. That sounds cool.
But how are you going to do The Trench? That scene must have costed millions of dollars in VFX. So
I think Creature from the Black Lagoon. You put a trench,
put a dude in a rubber suit,
a guy in a trench suit.
I get down with that.
And he's stuck in like Lake Tahoe, right? So it's like just one.
Yeah,
it's just one trench. He's like trying to.
We didn't specify what trench.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not bad. I dig that.
You see that?
Turn it into a B movie.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Just like a classic Universal horror, a la the Dark Universe.
From Deadline, The Batman to fly in summer 2021. Ben Affleck passes the torch.
Fly? What the hell?
To the next generation of Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm. To me.
To John Parker.
Could you think of anyone better besides me? I mean, I know the character.
That's true.
Let me do it.
And you're a detective. You do detective-y things.
I detect things very well. All right. Lots to unpack here.
Matt Reeves is still attached as writer and director. 2021. June 25th, 2021. They already have the date.
What if we don't make it?
The world blows up.
I might never see a new Batman movie.
It's
so far. No, I'm just kidding.
My excitement for this is just completely
bottomed.
Yeah, it's hit the tank.
Dude, I actually forgot they were making this movie still.
Reeves was announced as the Batman director in February of 2017. It's been almost. It's been 3 years since that announced. That
movie was announced in like 2014.
Yeah,
with Affleck directing it. Right?
Yeah.
I still do. I like Matt Reeves a lot.
I like Matt Reeves too.
He's a great director
for sure.
So I mean, this was what we wanted, though. We said just take your time and get it right. So hopefully, our excitement starts to climb once we start getting closer to the date and they release stuff and we find out the castings and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too. Like, you would think that. I mean, like this story is official, but like you would think Ben Affleck wouldn't be so like forward about it, but he even retweeted the article and tagged Matt Reeves and said he tweeted excited for # the Batman in summer 2021 and to see Matt Reeves' vision come to life. So
he's doing the right thing.
He's doing the right thing. It's just so interesting to see how much of a disaster this has been casting.
It's like a relationship that ended on a mutual ground. You know what I mean? So he still wants to be friends.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe he'll play like a side character or something.
The Joker. So who's Batman? Who's gonna be Batman?
I don't know.
Michael Keaton.
Keaton. Do Keaton, if you're going to bring Keaton back, do a Batman Beyond movie.
I would watch a Batman Beyond movie.
There's apparently rumors that they're like developing one. They think it might be animated though.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Which I'm fine with.
Then just let Michael Keaton be the voice.
Yeah,
sure. Actually, well, if you're going to do it, you might as well just let Kevin Conroy be the voice because he was the voice in the cartoon already.
You could go either way, and I think it would still be fan serviced enough, you know?
No, I want Kevin Conroy to be Batman again.
I think they'd go for Keaton.
Matt Reeves, scrap your idea. Just put the Batman the
Keaton's
animated
a bigger name to put on the poster than Kevin Conroy. As much as I love Conroy, I think Warner Brothers needs that money.
One of them is Batman. Literally, one of them is Batman.
Yeah.
And it's not Michael Keaton.
Speaking of how DC is just running our childhood into the ground, from comicbookmovie.com, article that says Pennyworth will be an unhinged R-rated series that doesn't include any Batman villains. Gotham prequel series Pennyworth will be with us this June, and executive producer Danny Cannon has now shed some light on what we could expect from the show, and it sounds pretty insane.
Is it his special forces time?
It's 20-something years before Gotham. It's a very different world. This is the DC version of 1960s London.
Yeah. He's like MI6 or something.
It's like a security company.
Or SAS or whatever.
He hopes to deliver, quote, unhinged R-rated series, end quote.
Alfred Unchained.
Yeah, this sounds like trash.
X gonna give it to you.
Sounds like trash. I don't want to see Alfred killing people.
The only thing I will say is that is contextually correct. There is part of Alfred's background is him serving as security. That's why he knows about tech and all that kind of stuff.
I just
as
see
it developed, but I don't want to actually watch it.
No, I see Michael Caine when I think Alfred now. I see like an older man that's very kind and sweet and is just there to help Bruce Wayne. I don't see like how they tried to make.
I'm Michael Caine.
Remember when they said that they announced an Aunt May spin-off movie back when the Andrew Garfield universe was still a thing?
Sally Field movie.
Yeah. Ugh.
The Aunt May spin-off is called Forrest Gump. Oh my god.
All right. See you soon. Birds of Prey.
Oh right. I thought you were closing the show. I was like, wow, that was abrupt.
No.
Birds of Prey. What's it called? Like
Harley Quinn and the beautiful emancipation of the Birds of Prey.
It's the Birds.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Weird title. Bad title. But we saw like little snippets. That's pretty much test footage of everyone in their costumes.
It's not pretty much test footage. It is
test footage.
It's test footage, screening footage.
So some of them look really cool. Mary Elizabeth Winstead looks dope.
Yeah.
As the Huntress. Black Canary looks cool.
You said Ewan McGregor's in this trailer.
Ewan McGregor, he plays Black Mask. Yeah. Find the article that has everything.
I found him. Is he wearing sunglasses and a suit?
I don't know. Let me see. I don't remember.
I can't turn the computer monitor around.
I just remember seeing him. Anyway, yeah, he's in it. And then like they have Victor Zsasz is going to be in this movie, which is kind of shocking to me, but that was kind of cool. We got a little D-level Batman villain action going on, so we'll see. It's not Suicide Squad, so.
Yeah, we'll see. And then we also have James Gunn has officially signed the paperwork to direct Suicide Squad 2, so now we have that to look forward to, right? I guess?
Cautiously curious.
Yeah. Cautiously curious is a good way to put it.
Yeah. I'm happy for him that he got a job.
Yeah.
But
me too.
It's not the project that I would have attached to him, so we'll see what he can do with the property.
Yeah, I think this is the one misstep that Marvel has made since Dark World. In terms of like,
you know who almost directed Dark World?
Who?
Patty Jenkins.
Really?
She was supposed to direct it, and they didn't want her to direct it, and then that's why Natalie Portman got really mad, and that's why she never came back.
I think we've talked about this in the show. I think you told me this back.
And then DC snatched her up, and she did Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So there's a pattern here.
Yeah.
Sloppy seconds, if you will.
They gotta take what they can get, man. DC's struggling.
Not anymore, dude. They're staying afloat.
Well, it's
King of the Seas, baby.
When Aquaman's made a lot of money, but at the same time, its production budget was like $250 million. Times that by 2 to get the marketing budget. So that was like a $500 to $600 million
They made like
movie.
a healthy profit.
They made a healthy profit, but at the same time,
it's not
like a Jurassic World
or like Deadpool, where Deadpool's budget was significantly lower and it made like a buttload of money.
Yes,
and then they're like, "Cool, all the sequels, let's do it." And then Disney's like, "Nope," and you're like,
Yep.
No X.
Well, Bob, there was actually a story that was on here, but I kicked it off because it's just not.
Uncle Bob on his shareholder meeting phone chat about keeping rated R stuff.
Yep, said that he understands that there's a market for it.
It's because he's not an idiot and he likes money. So.
Yeah.
Shocker. Yeah, nice job, Bob Iger. You got something right recently.
From the Hollywood Reporter, Christopher Nolan, his next film to open in July of 2020.
Inception 2.
Maybe, you never know. I would not say no.
Which of his singular movies that doesn't have a sequel would you actually be excited to see a sequel for?
That doesn't have a sequel.
Yeah.
The Prestige, I think.
No. Wrong answer. Why would you see... They all die. Like, there's like...
You could do a sequel in that universe with
spoilers,
that same...
like, one of the twins is the only one that survives. And then, like, Hugh Jackman's dead. The other half of Christian Bale's dead. Like, all the women are dead. That movie's perfect. It is flawless. You do not make a sequel for that. I was going to say Interstellar. I was going to say have some more space exploration.
I almost said Interstellar, but
because he goes out to find her, right?
Yeah,
so just do that.
Yeah,
all right. More McConaughey. Who would you pair with Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar 2? Would you add a new character? It's got to be in the Nolan wheelhouse, and it can't be Harry Styles. That doesn't.
The first thing that came to mind was Vin Diesel.
Oh God! Can you imagine those two?
Through this wormhole.
For the family. I'm here at Wild Turkey Distillery.
I don't even know if we want to talk about this story. Matt Smith to star with Jared Leto in Marvel spin-off Morbius.
Oh, the vampire? The living vampire?
I guess. I don't know anything about Morbius.
If you were to say Matt Smith and Jared Leto to star in Morbius movie with Wesley Snipes, I would have been like, yo.
Blade getting reboot.
Yeah, get some Blade action going, but I don't. Morbius is, I mean, he's a fun Spider-Man villain, but in my opinion... That's like a C-level character in Marvel, so they can try some of this stuff out, though. You know, they got all the money and the success, so why not?
They can experiment.
Even when they fail, they still win because Venom made so much money, and they're like good with it.
Yeah, this is a Sony film, though, so
like a turd in the wind.
I am never optimistic for anything that's a Sony film at this point. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
like singular Sony.
Yeah. In association with Marvel is just like not. That means nothing to me anymore. After Venom, that means nothing to me. It's
you're dead to me.
It's seriously dead.
Yeah.
We got a little teaser for Ghostbusters 3, the real Ghostbusters.
That's Hot Topic. Jeez.
Yeah.
Why don't you go to SNL and slap those lovely ladies in the face, Zach? Jeez.
No, I think
Zach doesn't like women.
I think Paul Feig and the Ghostbusters girls did.
Feig or Feig?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think they had good intentions, but
jeez, it's like you're putting him in timeout.
He's a dumpster fire, man.
No, okay. So this is what I still have not seen it. Have you seen it?
I've seen clips and. I tried watching it at one point, and I had to shut it off.
Yeah, so I heard that it's just bad.
The opening...
And that they use the political commentary about the fact that it's all women to hide behind the fact that it's actually just a bad movie.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Is like the politicized nature of the movie was if you don't like this movie, you're a sexist. When in reality, it's just a bad comedy. Like it's a non-funny, shitty, poorly written and directed comedy with tons of product placement... and just horribly unfleshed out characters and no love for the original series.
Yeah.
So
it's got Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
What a dreamboat, right?
I guess. But, I mean...
Who's your favorite female Ghostbuster?
Kristen Wiig, I guess. Or no.
Kate McKinnon?
Kate McKinnon, yeah. I love Kate McKinnon.
Yeah. It's just sad because all four of those women are hilarious.
Yeah.
And
sans Melissa McCarthy sometimes. I don't think she's very funny.
I think her record would speak differently in terms of...
She's got a Best Actress nomination.
She's got range, good products that she puts out, stuff like that. So anyway, so this is Jason Reitman, right? So this is the original director's son.
Yes.
Which is really cool. Yeah.
Seems to be like a direct sequel. Not trying
Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, because Ghostbusters, the reboot with the all-female Ghostbusters, they made it clear that it was not in the same universe. Bill Murray is in the movie and plays a character that's not Spangler, you know.
He's Venkman.
Venkman, sorry. I get their names mixed up all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he plays like a completely separate entity, Dan Aykroyd is not in the film. Obviously, Harold Ramis wasn't attached at all, not even like a producer credit.
Rip.
So I'm very curious to see how they continue that legacy and if they can right wrongs.
Do you think they will be in the movie as their original characters?
Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray will both be in the film.
Is that actor still alive?
I think
he is.
Ernie Hudson's still alive, yeah.
So he'll come back. So they'll have 3 out of the 4. That's just kind of sad that he can't do the whole thing.
I know.
But it is what it is.
They'll do the toast.
Shit happens, get the whiskey.
Shit happens. There's also a rumor about a Red Sun animated movie in the works.
Oh, okay. Tell me about Red Sun, Zach.
Yeah, so I just read
Zach read a comic,
Sun.
everybody.
I read a comic.
He read a comic. Nice job.
Yeah, I took
I'm proud.
a recent car trip up to Chicago, and so in the car ride there, I powered through Red Sun. Literally took me like an hour to finish it.
Mark Millar's DC alternate universe masterpiece.
It made me sad.
Why?
Red Sun made me sad because I realized when I closed the book, I was like thinking about it, and I said, this would make the best movie ever, but audiences are too dumb for this, I think.
I don't know. Spider-Verse seemed a little far-fetched, and audiences just went with it. It's all about how it's made, right?
It is all about how it's made, but I don't think that in the current climate of Warner Brothers and DC that they're willing to take a risk like this, especially...
Remember they were tossing this around as a possible thing that Henry Cavill was going to do for
I remember that.
Yeah.
Red Sun was immaculate. A very interesting story that took twists that I didn't expect.
I love covert Batman.
Yes, that's the best part of the book, without a shadow of a doubt. That would make the most amazing scene in a motion picture.
Which is kind of what I think Zack Snyder tried to do a little bit in that Nightmare thing with like the trench coat and stuff. Yeah. He totally dropped the ball.
So I think...
Good book. Hal Jordan's a pilot, right? He's just a fighter pilot.
Fighter pilot.
Lex Luthor's the president.
Yes,
him and Lois president have a thing, right?
Yes, him and Lois are married.
They're trying to broker a marriage between Wonder Woman. I'm just trying. I haven't read it in a while, so I'm trying to rehash what happens.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of subtle twists on the formula. Like it's not like a complete overhaul of what makes Batman and Superman different. It's like they just tweaked it a little bit, just enough to make it interesting. And man, would that make a fantastic film? It would make a fantastic 2.5, 3 hour long epic feature. It would be
starring Brandon Routh.
Spectacular. Yeah, starring Brandon Routh. I'll bring back Christopher Reeves.
Wish we could.
So yes, that's basically all I got.
So it's going to be part of their animated universe where they pump out like 3 movies a year.
Yep, and they're all like 7s.
Yeah,
6s
I
and 7s.
That's fair. Oh, there is one that's coming out soon that I really want to see though, which is Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Have you seen this?
No.
Did you ever watch the Justice League cartoon in 2001 and stuff? They're conducting it in the same animation style, so it's almost like it's a direct sequel to that show, and it stars Kevin Conroy and all the voice actors from the original Justice League show, which is gonna be kind of cool. It'll probably be, like you said, like a 6 or 7, but it's just kind of fun to walk down memory lane a little bit and kind of get that style back.
Yeah.
So look for that. I think it just goes straight to home video like they all do.
Yeah. One last movie news. 10 Cloverfield Lane director boards Uncharted film. So we just switched directors again. Or the writer who did the movie apparently turned in a script, has no connection. Dan Trachtenberg, who broke out with 10 Cloverfield Lane, has been officially announced to direct the adaptation of the video game Uncharted. Stars Tom Holland is still attached to the film. I think... I don't know. I don't know. Scared. Very scared for this film.
After seeing the fan film...
That's all I need. Just get Nathan Fillion in that.
I think we're good. Yeah. We got what we wanted.
You got what I need.
It looked like he had so much fun, and I watched an IGN thing with him. They interviewed him about it, and the director of the short film, and he knows the property well and stuff. I was like, this is really nice. Close it. We're done. You know what I mean? Just close the book. We're good. We got the games, and we got a short little fun film version, but
part of me wants
I need
the film
this less and less.
Part of me wants the film to be... Same with Last of Us. Part of me wants the films to be,
I mean, I want them to be immaculate no matter what, but I also want them to be well received because I do think that those are Uncharted and Last of Us particularly are two of the best stories I've ever experienced. Not just in any medium.
They're the best stories.
And the problem is that video games are such a barrier to entry for so many people. Like those games are, I mean, they're like easy for us to pick up because we've been playing video games forever, but like for my girlfriend, like trying to play Uncharted, like it's hard for her to get like camera motions down, and it becomes frustrating for her more than like an actual rewarding experience. Yeah, so I want people to be able to experience the stories of Nathan Drake and of Joel and Ellie, but I just don't know if those movies are going to succeed.
You really gonna go through with this?
Super Bowl viewership falls to lowest since 2008 in a historically low-scoring game.
Boo the Super Bowl.
John, hot takes.
Super Bowl sucked.
Yeah,
it was awful.
Sucked
it was
big
a
balls.
boring game, bad advertisements for the most part. Like, they just weren't as entertaining. Halftime show was not good.
No.
And it was a waste of a good venue because Atlanta's a dope city. But, yeah. Congrats, Tom. I'm glad you're having fun, you pliable piece of shit.
Boom! Roasted! 100.7 million people watched it. I want to know, like...
Imagine, do you remember how many people must have watched when the Broncos were in it? You know, like, I just feel like because it's the third in a row with the Patriots, that might have had something to do with it, too.
Yeah. It's starting to feel like just
watching,
so samey.
it's like watching the NBA Finals. Like, you know, the Warriors are going to be there.
Yep.
So, what's the point? Just check it on ESPN.
Yeah. Yeah, so Super Bowl this year, man, just a horrifying event in general.
What was your favorite ad?
I don't even remember half of them, man. I think the one I chuckled at the most, I think, was the Game of Thrones Bud Light one, just because I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, wow, that's clever. Carly was like, what does that mean? And I was like, don't worry about it.
He's the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I don't even, the heartstrings got tugged on for a brief second when Jeff Bridges showed up as the dude to Wasted Potential.
Yeah, I forgot about that with Sarah Jessica Parker.
But it was just nice to see him doing that again.
Mm-hmm. He still got it, dude.
Do another movie, do a sequel. The time is right.
Well, my favorite ads were the NFL Centennial one. I thought was really funny, where they're all in the ballroom and the Marshawn Lynch grabs part of the cake with his bare hand and then the football ball. Do you remember this one?
I don't know.
All right, you should watch it. It's actually pretty funny. It's just got a lot of good like NFL legends and stuff, so it's just cool to see them kind of goofing off together. And it must have been fun to film that one day that they did it. And Peyton's got a great little line in it, which I thought was funny. The Jason Bateman elevator.
Yeah, the Jason Bateman one was funny.
Yeah, and then obviously the TV spots for movies coming out, but I don't include those in the ads necessarily. Yeah.
2 more stories left. They're video game stories, so we'll burn through them really, really quickly. But Kotaku put out an article a couple weeks ago, back in January. It said EA cancels open world Star Wars game. This was the one that was in development at EA Vancouver. Well, so Amy Hennig's game was the one at Visceral, which got canceled last year, and now this new other one is also canceled as well.
Which means that EA is still just like the worst ever.
Yeah,
it makes me miss LucasArts. It really does.
They
used to just pump out Star Wars games, whether they're good or not. You know,
EA is fumbling with this license, and
they don't know what to do.
They acquired the license for Star Wars back in when the merger happened,
2014.
And we've had 2 games,
and
Battlefront and Battlefront 2, and they both suck. Yeah, man, it just bothers me. It just bothers me that.
Do you remember The Force Unleashed? Did you ever play that game?
Yeah, I remember. Those were good.
They're pretty fun. I didn't play the second one, but
the
first one on the Wii was like revolutionary.
Yeah, it was.
You had to fight with the Wii remote.
There was a statement from EA. They said, quote, "There's been speculation overnight about one of our Star Wars projects. As a natural part of the creative process, the great work by our team in Vancouver continues and will evolve into future Star Wars content and games. We're fully committed to making more Star Wars games. We're very excited about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn and we'll share more about our new projects when the time is right.
Actually, there is another Star Wars game that came out besides Battlefront.
Is that the mobile game?
No. The Disney Infinity. And then remember, Disney Interactive shut down too.
Yeah.
So we've had 3-ish Star Wars games.
Yeah.
And one of them is way more fun.
That is unacceptable for Star Wars. There should
Disappointed.
we should have had a video game a year for Star Wars since the license was acquired.
Yeah,
with EA, the way EA turns around, they turn games out like hookers
every year. Yeah, like hookers.
Like Pimp puts a hooker out on the street.
Wow, nice.
And then last story, The Last of Us Part 2 will launch in 2019, says former IGN editor. Now, so take this with the world's largest grain of salt, but
let's do it.
Yeah, I've actually followed
the biggest piece of road salt possible.
Yeah, she's an old IGN editor that now works for Rooster Teeth, but I've followed her work for quite some time. Her name's Alana Pierce. You might have seen her in IGN videos. She's Australian. She's very well spoken, long blonde hair, very, 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 very attractive girl. But she's very professional, and so I wonder. She was asked about like her most anticipated games of 2019, and she said The Last of Us 2.
Oh, nice.
But she said, like, when they asked if it was finished or like getting close to, she said, "I've been told multiple times by multiple people, not like things can't change or it's set in stone if it hasn't been publicly announced, though." So she seems to be fairly confident that the game will launch in 2019.
Which means they don't even need E3 because, like, let's go.
I think
I would shut down. I would.
I think not. I think
no.
Last of Us launches spring 2020, along with the PS5.
Say fall 2019, before the PS5. Swan song. Dose. Second time.
Second time's the charm.
Second time. They did it once already.
Yeah.
It's the best way to finish a console.
I think that the PS5 is going to be heavily focused on the fact that you can play PS3 games, PS4 games, and PS5 games all in the same ecosystem. So I think The Last of Us Part 2 will be a
PS4 compatible.
No, I think that I think the PlayStation 5 is going to be called PlayStation. I think it's going to be backwards compatible for the last couple generations. You'll be able to access your library.
They wasted their time with all these HD remasters.
I think they didn't waste their time. People have been buying them.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiot.
They're just trying to get that dollar. Trying
to fund making it.
Yeah, and so I think that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be like the whole thing where it's like you could buy it and play it on both if you want, but
that's fine.
I don't know if there's going to be a disc for the PS4. It might be like digital for the PS4, and then you get a disc for the... No, we're not going back to cartridges.
Let's do it.
Floppy disks.
Yes.
So yeah, John, that's all the news I got.
Well, now I just want to go play The Last of Us, so let's wrap this baby up.
You don't have an at-dat topic? No comic book corner? Comic shop talk? Anything of relevance that you want to throw into this show?
I mean, yeah, sure. I can think of some relevant things. Disagree. Comics. They have been pretty solid lately.
Okay.
We talked a lot about this during the New Year's one, so I won't dive in it too much because most of the same books are still happening. But there is a very large Marvel crossover coming out in April called The War of the Realms. And Malekith, you remember him from Dark World? So he is bringing all of his, alliances with some of the more evil realms of the 9 realms of Asgard and stuff like that. And Midgard is the only one that is unclaimed. So they're going to duke it out on Earth. It sounds pretty cool, actually. So, like, if you're interested in big crossover right before Endgame, this is going to have a lot of stuff. But the reason I wanted to bring it up is there's a very interesting thing that kind of caught my eye when I was reading through the preview catalog, and that is Daredevil is going to be a huge part of this because Heimdall passes his sight on to him.
To Daredevil?
So Daredevil's still blind, but he can see through the Bifrost. So like he's still gonna be Daredevil, but he will be able to be in communication with the other realms, which sounds interesting.
Interesting.
There's also going to be just a 3-issue side story for the Punisher for this thing, where he's just going to be fighting monsters. So it's like God of War meets Frank Castle, which sounds really fun. So it'd be like Kratos with the machine gun. But yeah, so that's happening in Marvel. And then DC is still just like putting it away in terms of their books. They're doing really well. There's a lot of good stuff with Batman right now. And then Doomsday Clock is every other month, but it's getting closer to the end, which is really good. And then DC has this story, Heroes in Crisis, right now, which is, I don't know if you've actually heard about this or not. They had a thing at Comic-Con last summer. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman come up with a therapeutic place called the Sanctuary for people with PTSD, for superheroes. And then everyone there gets murdered, so they're trying to figure out who did it, who done it.
Who done it?
And so that's chugging along, and it's been solid. So go check those out.
Cool.
And then Gideon Falls. Keep reading it. It's back.
Yeah. No, I'm going to start. Has the second trade come out for Gideon Falls, or is it just they're starting to do issues again?
We're almost done. So the first one is issues 1 through 6?
Something like that, yeah.
So issue 10 just came out, so you got about 2 more issues. So the trade will probably come out at the end of the summer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I'm gonna power through that one here soon. I'm really excited to dive into it. I'm excited.
It's so good.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think that just about does it. We need to wrap things up so we can check out. But thanks for listening to the show. This has been your 4th centennial bicentennial.
You'll get it one day.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lucas and Allie if you're listening. Hope you guys have fun.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate the love.
We'll see you for the next booty call. Hopefully you're working the Endgame.
That would be awesome.
Promise us if you're working at Endgame, don't feed us so many drinks that we won't remember it.
That's kind of on us.
Yeah, that's on us.
We need self-control.
Yeah. No, we will be. I'll be stone cold sober. Maybe like a beer. Sounds about right.
That's a good
for
That's a good autobiography name too, actually. I'll be stone cold sober. ... Maybe a beer.
You can follow the show at Radiovania. RadioVaniaShow@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, and concerns. I'm looking at you, Connor. You haven't emailed us in a while.
Connor, send an email.
Shout out to Cal. Connor's listening to this on his commute into the work.
Yep. Shout out to Cal. He's in Ireland currently.
For sure.
He can send emails too.
And yeah, that's about it. You can follow me at Zach Rotello. Have a good rest of your week. We'll see you guys the next Radiovania will probably be post Oscars. Probably pre-Marvel, yeah, somewhere around there. So enjoy our
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, yeah. Signing out. Here we go. Clicking the space bar.
Hit the space bar.